Now, here's what becomes problematic with me. If people in the MK do not have stability, why do we think that Floyd thinks that he will bring stability? Okay. The second part is this one. Who are the loyal supporters of MK? The loyal supporters of MK are people from Mpumalanga and people in the main from KZN. Disgruntled. Now, here's the take. Shivambo went and represented the EFF
in
KZN, and it performed dismally.
Yes.
If those are the voting patterns, and Shivambo expects that the same people are gonna vote a Tsonga man into a position of leadership in the MK, he's making.
Once they are pro-Zulu.
Well, they are pro-Zulu.
We are becoming ethnic.
Yeah. Well, no, we are not becoming ethnic. We are looking openly so in the voting patterns of MK. Yeah. What does that tell you? Let's not put it in a group and say they are Zulu people, but let's say they can't. Looking at the provinces where they were prominent, they can't deny the fact that they are Nguni supporters. They
want to be led by one of them.
By Nguni. You are either Xhosa, Zulu, or Ndebele.
Umuntu.
Yeah, exactly. So they are saying we are ethnic. And we are not interested in Batho. We are not. Particularly, we are not effective there. Given Ace Magashule's prominence and closeness to Zuma, MK should have been prominent in Free State. It's not.
And of course, you know that when you get such a song, Makube Njalo, Kute Kube Munapagate, it's when we start radical conversation. A great thank you to Bloke Wakolube, Papa Bloke, for a beautiful show. I've been listening, your El Giro, your El Glue, and all those other things. But this is the time where we get at another level. That is a great Sunday.
Good afternoon, Hlanganane Malungane. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Your good self.
No, I'm okay.
We have been challenged. Whilst we are teaching history, there are things that are happening behind our everywhere, and we tend not to be saying or doing anything about it.
Sure.
I've also seen other podcasters that are making sure during the week.
Sure.
As the news, they are new. So I was like, maybe we need to begin to respond to some of these things, because once we're teaching history, it is also important that we touch on the things that are happening.
Yeah.
So maybe one day we must be able to deal with current affairs, and the other day we must continue with the history.
Sure.
Yes. Sure. And in the news this week, we saw a Floyd Shivambu resigning from the EFF and saying boldly Uyako MK party.
Sure.
And we also saw the response Julius Malema. Then the question becomes, is this calculated? Is this a risk? What is your take?
Yeah, let me first qualify what I'm going to say in the Malungane and say I accept that I'm not a political analyst.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just putting my observations out there, and
yes,
I'm putting my observations out there, and people need to understand them as such.
Yes.
The two are like twins.
Yes.
Inseparable. So the day this thing comes, obviously it shocked us because we were not expecting us.
Yes.
But let me put things the way I think happened. Firstly, let me put the perspective of the elections. The EFF did not perform particularly well in these elections. We are actually below expectations. Whether or not these elections have been rigged is something that can be debated. But everybody else will also agree that the same conditions were set for ANC, the same conditions were set for EFF and MK. And MK came and then it overtook EFF. So from there, one expected a sit down from all political parties. It's a pity the ANC went to the NEC, but I do not think they did justice to look at what were the costs and what were the causes of where they found themselves in. So, truly speaking, one must agree that certain things did not work well. Back to the EFF. So the EFF had to do that. Unfortunately, we are told their conference is still to come in December, where they will sit down and take stock of what happened. But in essence, Floyd Shibambo decided to go. Do I believe that Floyd Shibambo has left the EFF? If I were to listen to what Malema says, and knowing Julius, how Julius hates betrayal, their statement does not suggest that Floyd is gone.
Okay.
It doesn't.
What does it suggest? Are we finding progressive parties going into alliance and Floyd being deployed to go and strengthen the MK?
More in that line.
Okay.
More in that line. For me, let me put the following things out there. Julius says the constitution of the EFF does not allow somebody to come back. But I'm making
an exception
for Floyd. I think, okay, this is what he says. A political leader does not leave a political party and uses the platform of the political party he is leaving to announce that he's leaving. Like
Jimmy Manyi wrote.
I'm going to Jimmy Manyi. Jimmy Manyi sought what? He sought an appointment with Julius.
Yes.
Through the SG. And Julius said to the SG, I'm not ready to speak to him. He's moving to MK. And Jimmy moved without meeting Malem, without a platform being created for him.
Yes.
Now, Floyd moves. We are told they spent more or less 12 to 13 hours convincing Floyd not to go. But after Floyd has decided to go, despite the effort, despite the effort, they still have lunch together as leadership of the EFF.
The last lunch.
The last lunch. Or the so-called last lunch.
Yes.
Now, in the announcement, consistently so, Malema addresses Floyd as DP.
Yeah.
Consistently, and I don't know whether the media were
I was aware. I could pick up that he continuously says the deputy president, and also the position is not going to be filled.
Exactly. At the same time, I don't know whether the media was excited because nobody, after Malema spoke, made a follow-up to say, but you consistently address this guy as DP. What is wrong? Are you not accepting that he has left? No, that's not what he says. And people were saying, look at the face of Malema. Say, when you plan such a thing, you go through a normal acting. You are prepared to come and act. And that was a script. Malema was doing a script. And then Floyd stands up. He gives us the parting ways. Now he says, the caucus has agreed on the following. And then he tables what the caucus has agreed.
Of both parties.
Of both parties.
Yes.
And he does not say, and I want you to also listen to when he speaks about the caucus. He names the parties. He says MK, EFF, and ATM. There's another party that he decided not to mention, but he mentioned these three. Now he says, we want that caucus must strengthen. Now here's the awkward position. This man has left. He's now in MK. Now he's part of the caucus. How does Malema address him? It's a problem.
Yes.
So for me, when I look at all of those things and looking at the conduct of Malema, knowing Malema would have called a press conference and said
by himself.
Yeah, and said Shibambo has sold out. He does not see this as selling out. And we know how Malema is sensitive about selling out, but he does not see this as selling out. What does he see it as?
What about Floyd looking at things and not seeing himself challenging Malema in the conference in December and wanting out because he sees that the prospect of me succeeding is something else?
If we listen to that narrative and we push it, here's where it becomes problematic. MK does not say they will ever have a conference.
Yes.
And the outcome of him not being the leader of the EFF is going to be the same outcome of him not being the leader of MK.
And also risking the packages that he's getting in parliament.
And risking, remember, when he is in the EFF, people unwittingly put him as the think tank of the EFF.
The document developer.
The document developer of the EFF.
Yes.
MK does not say we have a policy conference where he would have influence. This one, EFF says we have a policy as well as an elective conference where he can come and influence policy. He decides not to be influential in that policy and to go to MK, which recently has fired 18 MPs. Now, here's what becomes problem with me. What becomes problematic with me. If people in the MK do not have stability, why do we think that Floyd thinks that he will bring stability? I don't think he does.
So what does this whole thing mean?
The second part, before we go there, the second part is this one. Who are the loyal supporters of MK? The loyal supporters of MK are people from Mpumalanga and people in the main from KZN. Disgruntled. Now, here's the take. Shivambo went and represented the EFF
in
KZN, and it performed dismally.
Yes.
If those are the voting patterns, and Shivambo expects that the same people are gonna vote a Tsonga man into a position of leadership in the in the MK, he's making.
Once they are pro-Zulu.
Well, they are pro-Zulu.
We are becoming ethnic.
Yeah. Well, no, we are not becoming ethnic. We are looking openly so in the voting patterns of MK.
Yes.
Northwest has got very limited number of MK members. Same as Polokwane or Limpopo. Same as Northern Cape. Western Cape, nothing.
Yes.
Eastern Cape, some. Now, so from where I'm sitting, I'm saying, here's a Tsonga man, very intelligent. He can't make a mistake close to local government elections to go and
jump ship.
He's not. If he's deployed, by all means. But I will also ask, is the EFF clever to deploy Floyd? Are they clever?
What do you think happened?
I think
let's say master tactician ke tla ihlekisa says ngiyamfuna lo mfana Julius angeke khale bakopana
Yeah.
Julius asihlanganise lento ngoba sivumelene mina iminyaka yami ihambile mfana so asihlanganise labantu.
But both of them would have done a disservice to MK if they did that, given the origin of Shibambo as a Tsonga man.
Yes.
Who's the most suitable candidate? Ndlozi, who is not holding any prominent position in the top 6, but who's Zulu speaking. Ne?
And who they would see as one of them.
Exactly. Who's holding a PhD. Ne? And whose communication with Hlophe along those qualifications would make sense for him to be deployed. Ne? Maybe they thought deploying a DP would make a big inroads. But from where I'm sitting, ne, looking at the grassroots of MK, I have my own reservation. I'm not saying this is not a calculated move. I'm saying it could be a calculated move, but the calculations would not necessarily bring what is necessary.
What about say President Zuma, who maybe one day will speak about what Jabulani, the founder of MK, has been saying, and him taking them to court for fraud and other things. But what about the issue of MK needs someone that will stabilize it, develop documents, that will create conferences, that would do things, and maybe the old man Zuma has looked around and says, I can't find any than this one. Hence their meetings, hence the agreement. And also, I mean, even if you listen to Babu Hlophe, Babu Hlophe with his qualification and everything does not have the energy that Floyd Shivambu is having. Yes, to develop those documents, and also political background and acumen.
Hlophe. Hlophe is a legal man.
Yes.
He might assist on developing the framework of
No, I'm saying what about Michel Ozi has looked and said the rightful person becomes Floyd. And Correct. As a result, let's get Floyd to come and build this structure.
Correct. Yes, it is correct. But remember, within MK, there are guys with equal egos.
Yes.
You have Brian Molefe, you have Gama, you have
Manyi
himself, you have Mwitama.
Yes.
Guys with egos who say we can develop these things. You may bring Floyd and not Malema. Because Malema might not necessarily agree with some of them, and Malema can best. But Floyd will contain. But if Floyd is brought in as a facilitator, I agree with them.
In smooth running.
Yeah, I agree with them. It's a calculated move, but let me put my head on the block. Floyd has not resigned from the EFF. Here's the catch.
Yes.
Floyd resigns as a deputy president. But did you hear Malema about the membership? He didn't say Floyd resigns as a member of the EFF. He says he didn't renew his membership.
That means he could renew it.
So
there are technicalities that are created there.
Listen to what Malema is not saying.
Yes.
Forget what he's saying.
Read between the lines.
What he's saying is an obvious thing. He does not give you information. He gives you a narrative.
Yeah.
But the information is within the narrative.
Now he continues to say the supporters of the deputy president can follow en route.
He says they will. He doesn't say they can.
Yes.
He says they will.
Immediately I thought Mkhwebana.
Follow.
I also thought Mkhwebana and others.
Yeah.
Who have been pro-Zuma.
They might follow.
Another person says Floyd is going there because he's protecting himself. VBS scandal is coming.
I forget. So there's no VBS.
Yes, I'm saying normal layman says there's a VBS scandal. So the best way is for Floyd to go under the wing of someone that is untouchable, because we have seen commissions from Siriti, the Zondo, and whatever. They did not touch the old man. So no commission has ever found anything from this man. Come and hide.
It could be come and hide.
Yes.
But let's go and look at what is in the public domain.
Yes.
And what is the prominence of the EFF. And what is the prominence of
The MK.
the MK? What is the prominence of Floyd Shivambo on the VBS scandal? Let's look at it.
Yes.
Right. One, if the system wanted to destroy the EFF, they would have arrested Floyd if there was a case before the election.
True. And Julius?
Julius, they can't touch. Julius, they can't touch. And I will tell you why Julius, they can't touch. There's nothing that points to Julius except his presence in a meeting. And his presence in a meeting means nothing. Yeah, it's your word against Julius' word. They've already tested Julius' ability as a witness in a court of law.
Then they realize
they can't touch him. He's deadly. He will finish them. But if they were to hit Floyd and Floyd falls, Malema would come tumbling without anybody touching him. And the fact that until now the system has not challenged Floyd, it means they are not sure about what Floyd.
What about decisions that were taken or are taken at the EFF? An example, EFF refused to go to GNU. EFF refused to serve on high positions in municipalities and provinces, and as a result, Julius would autonomously says, no, we are not going, without consulting others. And there's a circulation of clips that are saying, he would say, I've created those boys, their mothers are in comfort because of me and all this. Isn't this something that has been coming as a behavior of Julius, the character of a leader that is leading them, who happens to be untouchable? Isn't this also in fueling and making other people to feel very uncomfortable?
It could. It could. A person who goes to Malema and subject himself to the leadership of Malema must know what he is asking for and what he's going to receive. He does not hide his ability to become autocratic. He has never hidden it.
Yes.
Since they left, he was expelled from the Youth League.
The NC Youth League.
Yeah, and he brought them together. Bomagaga and the others did not want to come. Bolamola.
Yes.
Why? Because they knew who Julius is.
And what he's capable of.
What he's capable of.
Yes.
Now, after 10 years, is Shivambo not used to it?
It should be, but sometimes as a person you get tired of being under a shadow. And at times also the branches would be telling you that if it were you in leadership, the EFF would have done better.
Yeah.
When are you ascending the stage?
Sure.
And you know, kind of what's saying about the moment they start to do this, you start to want to say, but I'm bigger than this man.
Yeah.
I'm better than this man.
He is, in many ways. He's
Yes.
better than this man. But Malema has charisma, which is an element very important as a political leader.
True.
He has got charisma. Despite his negative speech, he has got charisma. And his charisma is at the level of Jacob Zuma.
True.
It's at the level of Jacob Zuma.
It makes sense. To
Yeah, it
young
makes
people.
sense. Why was Mbeki not popular within the NC? It is because he lacks charisma.
True.
He's a pragmatic person who lacks charisma.
And people are buying into charisma.
People are buying into charisma. What was Nelson Mandela in possession of? Charisma.
Yes.
Yeah. He said nothing in terms of policy. You can go and watch his speeches. He said very little in terms of policy. But the way in which he shapes the wording that he does, he
was charismatic.
He's charismatic.
Yes.
So he will bring you in. They have the same charisma as Donald Trump. We might not like him, but he has got the charisma.
True.
We may not think that Barack Obama is anybody else, but he's got charisma.
Yes.
You understand? And that is necessary because political leaders are an outcome of popularity. So you need that charisma. You need that charisma. Now, Floyd doesn't have. Floyd will cut you to size in terms of policy. But can Floyd stand in a podium and articulate the policy the way Malema would? I doubt he would.
Something else. It's something else.
It's something else.
I listened to what his response to the media. And when he went to sit down, I was like, Floyd should have answered questions.
He should have answered questions. He should have been practical and pragmatic about them. Yeah, he's a guy that sounds very irritated every time he speaks.
Yeah,
he's you see Ndlozi.
Yes,
Ndlozi has got the brain and the charisma. And here's my take. Let's have the scenario that Floyd has left. He's angry. And he thinks that when he leaves, the EFF will go down. But do you know how many PhDs does the EFF possess inside?
there are many.
Many. Who of them can write policy? Because most of the PhDs that are there have done political science.
Yeah, and those can be able to do
They can do it. Now, if he leaves and he thinks he's going to give the policy over because he wrote it, when they come from conference, they might have different standpoint.
True.
And it is that standpoint that can change the game for the EFF. It either can destroy the EFF or change the game completely. And let me tell you, the EFF has got the capability to do that. It only needs Malema to sit down and ensure that the SG of EFF articulates policy. But the same SG cannot be this one that is currently sitting.
I mean,
Yeah, the sitting SG is not the face. You know, the SG was okay before this one.
the Mpumalanga guy.
The Mpumalanga guy, he was okay. The spokesperson was okay when it was Mpofu Welsh. And the other guy,
Mpofu, not Welsh.
Mpofu, as a chairperson of
not the Welsh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the people that the EFF should deploy as the face of the EFF. Every time you have to explain policy, you bring Mpofu to explain the policy, not Malema.
Wasn't it time that he maybe gets into politics full time? Because at one stage he's defending Zuma, at one stage he's defending the MK party, and as a result, also there's a question that says, but Mpofu is always around Zuma and defending the Zuma and the stand of MK, like he did with the SABC case of that. What does it also mean, as we are about to conclude?
It could mean the same thing, but do you differentiate between Mpofu and Moses Kakan? How do you differentiate? You can't. You become irritated with how close Moses Kakan is with the EFF, but he continues to deny that he's not a member of EFF. But he has already publicly said he's no more a member of ANC.
Yes, and he grew in the ANC.
Now, if a man says, I'm not a member of the ANC, but he goes to a podcast, do you know of any other lawyer that was, besides Mpofu and Moses Kakan, that was interviewed on the podcast of EFF? No. They interviewed their own members.
It is membership.
Yeah.
A podcast that is promoting their own things.
Exactly.
So are we then saying, as we are to conclude, that they are playing us? Floyd has not gone. They are playing us. We must just wait and see what Micholos is busy cooking, as people are moving out or they firing people into the MK. I had wanted us to touch on what Mr. Jabulani said. Did you see his response to say he's taking them to court and he wants his organization back? Will he win?
I've seen it.
Do you think he will win?
He has lost a number of these fights. And I doubt that he might win this one. Let me tell you why. Zondo is no more a constitutional court chief justice. So you can't talk to Zondo separately to say, bring Musholozi down. You can't. That era came and it's finished.
Oh, so
it's done.
Yes.
Yeah. Maya would want to put her own things around herself, be seen as neutral,
as an independent person.
And that's where the challenge of winning this case would come.
It's gonna be very difficult, Mos.
Yeah, it is.
So are you putting your head on the block to say akayanga ndawo?
If he has gone,
Floyd,
he's pulling people to MK, and what a wonderful way. Destroy the people who destroyed you from within. You know, the Bible says the enemy is within.
Yes.
Aha. He is within. And now that he's within,
He's going to destroy.
Zuma must not sleep. Unless Zuma is part of the deal. Because Zuma has got the daughter, Zuma has got the son, who are equally capable. And knowing him, he would not let MK be a legacy of Floyd and Gift while he's got sons and daughters. Unless there's an arrangement.
Well, until then, Lepe, thank you so much. And to our viewers, sometimes we would wish that you were able to say, hey, I am who responding from Kukai. You know, let's get to know but Varunaba Kukai. So
Sure.
As we also send these shout outs.
Sure.
I'm authoritative.
Yeah.
I don't allow people to speak.
Sure.
But we will get there.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.